Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Kartika Nair and you're watching Synchro Shakti. Today I want to share a personal manifestation story with you guys to prove to you that you are making your life a lot more harder, a lot more worse than it needs to be, and there is always an easier way to solve things in life than getting overwhelmed and doing the wrong things. So with that, today I'm going to share with you the manifestation story of my residence card. Now before I start, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that I got married to a Croatian national citizen and I got married in Croatia with a legal marriage document here. So I should just by default get my residence card. And so why is this even a manifestation story? So if that's what's on your mind, stay tuned to the whole story and it's going to be super wonderful. So my whole joy in sharing the story is to make your life so much easier. So with that, let's get started to the whole story. So it all happened a year ago in September 2022 when I got married here in Croatia. And very innocently I thought to myself that since I'm the first generation Indian here in this village, in this county, in this area, it would be awesome if I kept my name, Kartika Nair, and added my husband's second name, Planins, to my name. So my full name would be Kartika Nair Planins. So I did that, very innocently wrote that in my marriage certificate and went to the police to start processing my residence to move here to Croatia and be a EU citizen, European Union citizen. And that opens up so many things to travel and so many beautiful things that come with that. So I went to the police and they looked at my passport and said, well, firstly you need to have a new passport which gives your new name, Kartika Nair Planins, and your husband's name on that passport, and you need to be on a spouse visa in order for you to apply for the residence. Now you have to go back to India, go do all of this and then come back. So I said okay. So I went back to India and I go to the passport office to get this, reissue my passport for this new passport with my new name and my husband's name as well. So I go to the passport office and they look at my application and they say, what are you attempting to do? And I said, I want to change the name on my passport. And they said, well, the name on your Aadhaar card, which is our national number card, it's our main information document in India, that card has my old name, Kartika Nair. So until I change my name in my Aadhaar card, our identity card, you can't do anything. You have to first change it on that card. So now that opens up a huge can of worms. Why? Because if you change your name on your main card, your main identity card, that means everything that is connected to that card needs to be changed, which means your tax card has to be changed, your mutual funds has to be changed, your business entity has to be changed, names have to be changed, and in order to even apply to change your name in the Aadhaar card, you have to change your name in a local newspaper and a national newspaper. And now you know, if anything is getting too hard and too complicated and I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it because there's always an easier way around it. Now it was stressing me out because every call I was making to the passport office was saying the same thing. You have to change your Aadhaar first. I didn't want to do all of that. That's too much work for me and I didn't want to spend 6 months more in India trying to get all of these things done for something so simple as changing my name in the passport. So all I did was I got in touch with one of my friends who got married to an American citizen in America. And she had applied for her passport from America. So I said, how can the law be so different when you are outside of India to apply for a new passport versus while you're in India to apply for a new passport? If you're outside India in America, you can just go to the embassy and just finish it off. And then in India, you have to spend months and months doing all these hard processes, go from one office to another office to another office. Why would the law be so different? But I did not know what would be the agreement between India and Croatia. So I said, okay, you know what? All I know is I, in my mind, have the image of the passport with my new name and my husband's name. I don't know how I'm going to get it. The best part about the universe and law of attraction is you never need to know how. The how is always a magical part. So it's like, if you like surprises and you like magic, never worry about how it's going to happen. So I kept that image and I said, I'm not going to stress, I'm not going to go do anything, I'm just going to enjoy my life and figure it out one moment at a time. Then I thought, okay, let's go back to Croatia and see whether it's possible for me to try the same thing that my friend did in America. Can I apply for a fresh passport from Croatia and see whether that works? So go to the Indian embassy in Croatia and see whether I can apply for a passport there and see if that happens. Let's just be open and see what the universe has in store for us. So I book a ticket back to Croatia because I still had a few more days left on my previous visa that I had. Now I reach Bangalore airport and I'm at the check-in counter to check in my bags and get the ticket, and then they look at my passport and they immediately tell me, ma'am, you cannot board this flight, you cannot go to Croatia. And I said, why? They said, you're on the wrong visa. If you need, and this was during that COVID times, and I won't say exactly COVID times, I'd say it was about 8 months ago, so this was post-COVID times, but still people needed a specific reason to be able to go to certain countries. So I said my reasoning to going to Croatia at the time was to apply for residence by virtue of marriage. So they said, ma'am, this is not the right visa, so we cannot let you board. So at this point, I've come, my parents dropped me off at the airport, and I'm in the middle of somewhere in the airport and I can't go back because my house is 2 hours away. I have to get on that flight. I've come this far. So I said to myself, okay, if I want to be in Croatia, I'm going to firstly be very empty. Empty meaning I'm not going to have doubts and questions as to what's going to happen. Will I have to go back? I'm not going to imagine myself getting into a cab and going back home. I'm going to be very empty. So I said, everything is perfect, just relax. Everything is perfect, just relax. I just kept imagining myself being in Croatia and kept empty and no doubts, no nothing. Kept very, very calm and quiet. And I saw them taking my passport, going here, there, calling something, and then they finally came back to me. Everyone else in my line had gotten their tickets and gone to security. I was still standing. They came to me and they said, ma'am, we will let you pass through, but if the Croatian authorities stop you, then the airline will not take any liability, will not take any responsibility over that. So I said, I'll take it. Give me my tickets. I'm going to go. So I got out to the flight and now I know that I'm not on the right visa to enter for the purpose that I'm entering for, which is residence. I'm not going on a tourist thing. I had a different visa type. So I said, okay, I know that at the gate it is possible, at the immigration it is possible that they may stop me. So again, I'm going to just imagine being in Croatia, being appreciative of being in there and being very, very empty, very empty. Don't panic. Worst case scenario, okay, you can get on another flight and go back if they don't allow you to enter. But don't worry, okay, something universe has brought me this far is going to bring me further. So let's see how far we go. So I reach the immigration, I give them my passport, I give them my marriage certificate and I say, this is the thing, I have a legal document in Croatia which allows me to apply for legal residence here, let me in. And so I don't know how quick or how not quick that process was, but I just remember stamp, the gates opened, I entered Croatia. Now at this point, I got so involved with the moment of, wow, I'm here, I got through, everything is fine. I was more interested in meeting my husband, right? Because I was seeing him for the first time after my marriage. Because right after my marriage, I went back to India to teach 111 days of Healy Fest, which is one of our signature programs. So I was seeing him first time after we got married, so I was more excited to see him and I totally forgot about being on the wrong visa. I forgot about all of these things and I just remembered, okay, I'm now with my husband, let's go apply for residence. Totally forgot about being on the wrong visa. Now remember what the police said, in order to apply for residence, I need to be on a spouse visa because I'm applying by virtue of marriage. Totally forgot about all that. And I went and called up the embassy and I said, hey, I would like to reissue my passport and have my new name on it and my husband's name. Can I come? They said, okay. We showed up. I applied for a new passport and I was very, my energy was, okay, if my friend could do it in America, chances are I can do it from here in Croatia. And my energy was very open, very empty. There was no doubts. I was just very trusting. I still am very trusting of our divine parents, the universe. So I said, okay, universe brought me this far. It's going to get me through. So I applied for a fresh passport from Croatia on a Monday. On a Friday, I got the passport back. Now just imagine, on a Monday I applied, which means it went from Croatia to India, got through the whole process in India and came back within 3 days. On the 4th day, Friday, it was back in Croatia. Can you imagine? I got an email from the embassy saying, come collect your passport. We came, we collected the passport, and it had my new name and my husband's name. So first hurdle done. So I didn't have to do all this whole madness in India with 6-7 months of going and running around trying to change my name in this gazette, that gazette, Aadhaar, this, that. Just 5-minute process. Go to the embassy, apply. And I did not, by the way, here's a beautiful thing. I did not pay any extra amount to have this passport processed in such a short period of time. It just processed so quickly without me paying it. I didn't pay Tatkal. Tatkal is emergency passport, nothing. I paid normal passport rates and I got back within 3 days, which itself is magical. And for me, it always happens like that. People have all these belief systems of it's going to take time and there is no, it's not going to, you're not going to get slots in order to apply for this and that. And so I don't have any of that. For me, I believe in ease and effortlessness in pretty much everything. So luckily, that processed very quickly. So I got very excited and I said, okay, now we have this. What's the next thing that we need? And turns out we need a police clearance certificate. So you apply for a police clearance certificate at the embassy. It goes to India, the police, I don't know whether they did a background check or what is their process, but they sent back a document. When they sent back the document, it did not have a Hague Convention stamp on it. Now, whenever I've done a police clearance before, it usually goes through the external ministry and there is a particular very colorful looking stamp that they put in the back of that document to show that it's gone through, it's like totally verified by the external ministry. That stamp was not there on my police clearance. So now, because of conditioning, my mind suddenly became very doubtful and thought, if there is no Hague Convention stamp, how will the police here see that it's a legitimate document that shows my police clearance? How will they believe that this document is actually coming from the ministry? It was just a document. That's it. It just said there is no criminal proceedings against this person. That is all it said. How will they believe me? I could have just made this up. So now doubt started creeping in and I was in this fearful state of what's going to happen now, because I only have certain number of days left before my visa expires. Now, if I have to send this document back to India and get it through the external ministry for that Hague Convention stamp, it's going to take many days, and I did not have that many days left on my visa. And obviously I didn't want to go back to India and do that whole dance again, because that's why I came here in the first place, to make it easier. So finally, I was calling and calling from that panicked energy of doubtful energy, what's going to happen, and they were not picking up the call. The more I called, the more they would not pick up the call. The more frustrated I was, the less they would never pick up the call. Okay, so then one day I took a deep breath and I said, okay, to my husband, I told him, okay, let's just go to the police station now. Something you should know about me is I live in the middle of nowhere. I am exactly where the UFOs and the aliens would land, in the middle of some fields. I'm in a village. So the nearest towns and nearest cities are 30, 40, 50 kilometers away from where I am. So I had to go to one of the nearest towns to the police station. So we drove down. So my husband had to take off work. We drove down to the police station in that worryful energy that will they accept this particular police clearance document. So I get there and there's only one lady at the counter, because all the other police officers from that department had gone on vacation. Here people go on vacation during that June to July time, and she was the only one there who was working. So she was in such a bad mood because everything was on her head. And we came in front of her and we said, we want to apply for residence, this is the thing, we have our passport, but this is the police clearance document. She didn't even look at the police clearance document. She just looked at my passport and immediately said what I totally forgot about, and she said, you don't have the correct visa to be applying for residence. you have to go back to India, get the right visa and come back, which is a spouse visa. Then my husband tells her, well, this girl is already here. Why would you send her all the way back to India just so she can get a visa just to come back here and stand here again and apply? She's already here. Is there something you can do? And then this lady says, well, why are you all coming so late? Why did you all come so late? Why couldn't you come earlier? And we said, well, we're waiting for the police clearance document. It didn't come on time. What do we do? And what do you mean, why so late? We still have about 10 days left, right? On our visa, we still have 10 days left, right? And she says, no, you don't. And she points at our visa validity, and I didn't look at it. I didn't look at what was on the stamped visa. I only had 3 days left, guys, to stay in this country. 3 days left legally to be in the country, and my visa was expiring in 3 days. And now imagine this. I thought I had nicely 10 days, and now they're telling me only 3 days, and this is a Friday. That means so you had Saturday, Sunday and Monday I had to go. I had to leave. Now I didn't want to leave, and she was telling me, Nema chance. No chance. There is no chance that I can process this residence on this visa category. You have to go back and change your visa category. So then again I said, okay, now is my turn. There's a teaching in our academy. I teach this all the time, and I really embody this all the time, and that is, if man says no, the universe says yes. So I always believe and trust in our divine parents gets us through whatever we need, because we came here to create life. We didn't come here to suffer life. We came here to create and enjoy our creations. So it's such a joyful life we've been given, so many powers we've been given, and we're sitting here thinking we're powerless. No, we are gods in human form, so let's do some magic. So I emptied myself again, just surrendered, breathing through all that panic. And again, I trusted the divine universe, and I said, it's okay, something will happen. So we are exiting the police station, and she says from the counter, she says, well, you guys do one thing. Come back on Monday afternoon. Monday is the last day I can be in the country, by the way. Come back on Monday afternoon, and on Monday morning I will call the Central Police and see if there's anything we can do on the fact that you have a current visa to be here. Let's see if there's anything anyone can help us with. I'll talk to the main guys and see. So you come back on Monday afternoon. So now we are exiting the police station. Now I have two choices. I can either have complete faith that some miracle and magic will happen, some loophole, some bend in the law, or I look at flights back to India and I start believing and convincing myself that the law states I can only be here till Monday, so I better take a flight on Monday. And I remember my mom told me, like, you better check flights, because what if last minute there are no flights, and if there are no flights and you have to overstay a visa, you get into penalty. So, check it out. But I decided, no, I'm not going to check to see any flights in India. I'm just going to be in this open state of magic and miracles happening. I'm not even going to entertain the idea that I have to go back to India. So that weekend, so it was on a Saturday or a Sunday, I went to meet a friend of mine who lives in a nearby town, who is also Indian, and who got married to someone in Croatia. So I spoke to him, and we met up because we were doing a photo shoot and video shoot for one of our new programs that was starting at that time, which is called Abundance Accelerator Batch 3. So I went there for that purpose, and I told him about, this is what the police said. And he said to me, 85% you have to go back to India. The rest is up to some miracle magic, we will see. Now, if somebody tells me 85% you have to go back to India, I'm going to prove them wrong. I generally have this thing in my energy that if somebody says I can't do something, I just have to do the opposite. So I said, okay, law of attraction. So I seem to be the only one who believes in the law of attraction. But I said, no, the law of attraction, some magic is going to happen. Now, this is where let's say the road changes in the story. So now, it is Monday morning. That's the day that I have to go to the police station, where they will tell me whether there's a way for them to process my residence, or if I have to go back to India. Now that's a very high pressure day. It just so happened on Monday morning, I had a call with a lady named Arpita. Now, several months ago, I got an email from a person named Raja, who told me about Arpita and said that Arpita, like how Esther Hicks channels Abraham Hicks, Arpita is able to channel these energies which they lovingly call as Ashrit. Now we can call them anything. These energies are coming through all of us all the time. That energy, that guidance is coming to you, it's coming to me, it's coming to everyone. Arpita can verbalize it. It's like a stream of thought that comes to her, just like we get ideas and we get insights of, you forgot something and suddenly you remember, you suddenly know what's the right thing to do, or you're inspired to take an action. That's the same universal energies coming through us. But for her, it comes as a stream of thought that she's able to put in words. So I was very curious, and they wanted a collaboration, and I initially said, no, we can't collaborate on my channel, because all these things like summoning and channeling and things like that is just so, yes, we all watch Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks, but come on, I don't want to muddy up my brand with all of these things, like no way. But I'm curious to sit on a call and see if we had direct access to Esther Hicks and we got to ask questions to Abraham. We'd all love to have that interaction. So if somebody is coming to me and saying this is what they can do, I want to see that, I want to experience that. So I had booked a call on Monday early morning with Arpita and Raja to get the guidance of these universal energies through them. And so I asked the question to Ashrit and I said, this is the thing, today is a very important day. I have a few hours to bend the law and to see whether I can actually stay in Croatia, even though the law states that I cannot, because I'm on the wrong visa category and the visa that I have is expiring today. So what am I going to do? And I don't know. I don't know if I'm meant to go back to India. Is my higher self telling me stop fighting it and just go back to India? And maybe I'm meant to be there. But the energies asked me a very simple question. They said, what do you want? I said, I want to stay in Croatia. I want to stay here. They said, okay. So now the answer to your question is very simple. How do you feel when you think of going to the police station today? And I said, I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't know how you can change the law so quickly. I don't know how we can find a loophole. I don't know what the police is going to say. I'm scared. So they said, well, don't take that key into the vortex. Instead, ask yourself, what do you love about being in Croatia? Choose joyful, loving thoughts about what you want. And stay only in that energy and don't try to think about changing the law and what the police is going to say. Go to the police station very generally, like you're going there to do something else. But don't go with that heavy energy of I have to now change the law and I have to manifest. Don't take that responsibility. Instead, just ask yourself, what do you love about being in Croatia? So I started giving them reasons. I said, oh, what I love about being in Croatia is the beautiful nature and the beautiful people and this fresh air and the village, and we have beautiful big storks that come and make nests and like have huge gigantic nests, and it's so beautiful to watch them living there. And I love hanging out with my husband, and I love all of this and this and this and this, and I was in this full vortex of love, of loving energy around being in Croatia. And the whole day until the afternoon when they asked us to go to the police station, I was just practicing that feeling of appreciation and love of being in Croatia, being in Croatia, being in Croatia. And I go to the police station. Now, you remember how on Friday when I had gone, that lady was in a very foul mood? Today she was not in a foul mood at all. She was in a very peaceful, joyful state. She took us out of the line. There was a line. She took us out of the line. My husband was giving her the documents. She took the documents and then she says to us, I didn't get a chance to talk to the central police this morning, so I'm going to go call them now. Now my heart is going, dadunk, oh my God, what's going to happen? I said, empty yourself, just breathe, just be an empty vessel to receive what you're asking for. You don't want to put doubt in the air, just be empty and surrender and just be in the moment, see what happens. And just remember what you love about being in Croatia. So I kept being in that energy. And then I can hear her talking on the phone to the people there, and she's telling them, well, this girl is already here. What is the point sending her back to India so she can get a visa just so that she can come back here? She's already here. Is there anything we can do? And I can hear her talking all of these things. and I'm just emptying and breathing. Everything is perfect, just relax. Everything is perfect, just relax. Everything is, I'm just hugging myself. Everything is perfect, just relax. And with that energy, she comes back and she says, okay, no problem. I can process your residence on this visa. All I need is a travel insurance. So go get a travel insurance for 1 month, because it's going to take a month to process this residence, and then you come back. So both of us are looking at me and my husband. We're like trying to process what she said, and then we go out to go find this travel insurance. So we don't know where the travel insurance building is in this town. So we are holding hands and we go on this intuitive walk, and he's just leading me somewhere and I'm going behind him. We don't know where it is. We just intuitively just let the intuition guide, and we stop within 5 minutes. We stop at one building, and it just so happened we looked up and we saw the title of that building, and it was the building of a travel insurance. Can you imagine? We enter, there's nobody there except one very beautiful looking lady sitting behind the desk, and she's so like, hello, how can I help you today? And I come in, and this is all in Croatian. People here don't speak English, they speak Croatian. And so we spoke to her and we told her, we just need a travel insurance for 1 month. So I paid some 50 euros, got a cover of 50,000 euros. And that's it. Ping, ping, finished. Got out of there, crossed the road, went back to the police station. All this happened in 10 minutes. Oh, before that, I missed one part. So while we were getting the insurance, and it was so easy, I suddenly started feeling very unworthy of having this experience, of being in this wonderland. And here, living in the village, it's like you're living in an alternate dimension. You look up in the sky and you'll see, shooting stars, and you look here, there, you'll see beautiful birds and butterflies. And not that it's not there in my country, obviously it is, but I live in nature here, I live in the fields. And someone like me who is sound sensitive and energy sensitive, for me, where I live is just magical where I live. And I suddenly started feeling very unworthy of having this experience. Now, a little side note. I grew up in a culture where women generally have a lot of rules, and what you can wear and where you can go, and who you hang out with. And suddenly I'm in this world where there is no rules. You can wear whatever, be whatever, do whatever. There are no rules. You're totally free. And the past in me, who comes from like middle class India, was suddenly feeling unworthy of claiming this experience of this level of freedom and nature and fresh air and beautiful infrastructure and everything. I started feeling very unworthy. So I hugged that unworthy aspect, and I looked at one painting that was behind this lady. And this painting was of a little girl who was holding an apple and a letter to her heart. And that painting was like a universal, like I felt like the energies were around me, telling me you were born worthy, you're born worthy for anything. Every single one of us is born worthy for everything that we desire in this planet. So I took that painting as a sign that, claim it, Kartika, you're worthy of this, you're worthy of this, claim it, claim it, claim it. Claimed it. Then we crossed the street, went back. Lady again, police lady, again she took us out of the line. She took the travel insurance, ting ting ting, on the system it showed as residence in process. So my residence card was being in process, and a month later my residence card was ready. We went, collected it, and now I'm an official resident of Croatia, of European Union. And so many parts of the story, but remember the main key learning was that you never take key into the vortex of something that feels overwhelming and scary and doesn't feel good. The key into the vortex is always good feeling thoughts about what you want. So instead of trying to change the law or change your husband or change people's minds, focus on peace, focus on love, focus on more of what you want, what you love about what you want, what good feeling thoughts you have about what you want, and then that is the key you take into the vortex to receive what you want. and that is the whole residence story. So if that story was of help for you guys, if that helped you see that you don't have to do all these other things that you don't want to do, there's always an easier, effortless way into life. You don't need to worry, you don't need to stress, you don't have to make life hard. There's always a shortcut and easier way to live the life that you want. Life is easy, life is easy, life is easy. If you got that point, comment that below saying life is easy. I really want my YouTube audience to have easy, effortless, peaceful, joyful lives. Wouldn't that be nice? So with that, I will end the video. If you guys want to connect to Raj and Arpita and their guidance and summoning of the energies, who they call Ashrit, if you want to connect with them, firstly I've done a full interview with them. You can see the link will either pop up here or it will be in the description. Whole 1 hour interview I did with them, you can check that out. And if you want to connect with them one-to-one, you will have to come through me, because these guys don't have a website, they don't have YouTube, they've just been helping people in their private circles. So if you want to connect to them, you have to connect through us. So email me in the description, you will have my email as well as my WhatsApp number. And if you want to join us in group calls, I anyways love to listen to what their guidance is. So I'm doing 10 sessions with them over 2024, and my students want to join in on those sessions. So if you guys want to come and join us on some of those group sessions, or one group session in 2024 starting in February, then you can join the form. There's a waiting list, and once I have figured out what the dates would be of those sessions, I will email you and tell you, so you can come and join us in those group calls with Ashrit as well. And that's about it. And final thing is, I am coming to Malaysia and Indonesia on the 20th of this month. So if you are from Malaysia, you want to hang out, Indonesia I'm going to be quite rushed, so I'm not sure. I'll be in Bali. But in Malaysia, I'm in Kuala Lumpur. If you want to come hang out and say hello, the date would be around 22nd of December. Just message us on the WhatsApp number in the description, and we'll catch up in Kuala Lumpur. So I love you. Thank you, YouTube community. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. I hope this was helpful. And